Beardo Benjo.
Hello there everyone and welcome to today's video. Now I'm going to share with you today the very best Quest games list. The ultimate Quest games list. You need to own or play these Quest games. Now I know what you're thinking. It's pretty bold of me to come on here and tell you that these are definitively the very best games on the Quest or Quest 2 platform. So I'm just going to clear that up right now and say they probably aren't. But they're my favourites, and I've played almost every game on the Quest platform at this point in time, so hopefully my opinion is trustworthy enough for you to listen to and hopefully walk away today thinking, I'm going to try some or maybe even one of those games on this list. Now, I won't be including two specific games which I did include on last year's list. I'm not going to be including Beat Saber or Superhot in this list because they are included on every list of the definitive VR games ever. You look on any corner of the internet, those games are there. We know they are good games. So I'm going to try and focus in on some more specific niche titles for the Quest platform that I think need a bit more attention. These are the 20 best Quest or Quest 2 games you can currently pick up according to me. Kicking things off today is Warplanes World War I Fighters, the very best combat flight simulator for the Quest platform and honestly, probably the best flying game full stop that you can find on the Oculus store. With its gorgeous visuals, full suite of customizable control options, unlockable items, a single player campaign, co-op and multiplayer modes, Warplanes gives you huge bang for your buck and is the best way to get your high altitude fix on the Quest. The infinitely popular combat sandbox game Blade & Sorcery made the leap to the Quest this year, and it brings with it all the bloody, brutal, chaotic fun that PC players have been enjoying for years. The Quest port isn't perfect, and there are still reports of lag spikes and crashes for some users, but the sheer fact that they managed to get this game running on Android hardware will never cease to amaze me. With mods starting to appear online and patches dropping frequently to fix stability, this is a title that will only get better with time. Quest owners looking for an engaging story and some high thrills cat and mouse action should look no further than Jurassic World Aftermath, a nostalgic stealth experience for fans of the Jurassic Park franchise that feels as though the developers wanted to make an Alien Isolation game for kids. Coming face to face with iconic dinosaurs and using the tools at your disposal to avoid the raptors that hunt you is just as exciting as it is terrifying. If you've ever watched James Bond and thought, I bet I could survive that, then I Expect You to Die 2 will challenge you to prove it in a series of intricate spy-themed escape scenarios that are filled to the brim with charm, wit and humour. These puzzle room style experiences are beautifully put together and they'll pose a serious challenge to players of all ages whilst still being an enjoyable and hilarious sandbox for those who just want to play around and test what's possible. Zero Caliber is the most complete first-person shooter package available on the Quest platform. With a development team who are dedicated to updating and improving the content on offer with consistent changes and patches, this military shooter keeps getting better. With a full and highly replayable campaign that's also entirely playable in co-op and some of the most satisfying and customizable gunplay in VR, Zero Caliber is a must-have for players looking for a top-tier shooter. Pistol Whip feels like John Wick and Beat Saber had a baby. A rhythm game that rewards players for shooting and punching their approaching enemies in time to the beat of some seriously catchy music is a brilliant idea, and it's no wonder this one appears on so many people's best of the best lists. On higher difficulties, this one doubles as a superb workout as you duck, dodge and weave to avoid incoming bullets like some kind of VR-infused Neo from the Matrix. This is one Quest game that effortlessly manages to make you feel like an absolute badass. Walkabout Mini Golf, from a gameplay perspective, is exactly what you'd expect it to be. A fantastic VR version of mini golf complete with wacky courses, customizable balls, trick shots, and themed levels. What it also manages to be is one of the very best multiplayer experiences on the Quest platform. Jumping in for a round of golf with a few friends is a relaxing and often hilarious social experience that will quickly become a mainstay in your VR play sessions. Up next is another game that doubles as a wonderful social experience as well as a solid VR game. Real VR Fishing is the kind of game that you can lose hours and hours to without realizing as you listen to music, watch videos via an integrated YouTube feature, and of course, fish in some of the most visually stunning environments the Quest has to offer. Add some friends into the mix and everything becomes that much better. Compete to land the biggest catch, unwind together and snap photos of your most memorable moments. It's easy to see why Real VR Fishing quickly evolves from a VR fishing game into a full-blown social hangout. In Death Unchained is the Quest game I find myself returning to the most. When I've got 20 minutes to kill or just want a quick VR experience, I load this one up and remember just how incredible it is all over again. Easily the best archery game currently available on any VR platform, In Death Unchained is a roguelike dungeon crawling experience with procedurally generated levels, meaning each time you play you'll be facing up against a new challenge and enemies coming at you from new directions. The combat feels slick, the visuals are up there with the very best on the platform, and it's infinitely replayable. If you want to pretend to be Legolas and take down some demonic hordes, then this is the game for you. VR platformers are few and far between. The landscape is generally dominated by first-person shooters and zombie-smashing experiences, but when a platformer is done right, it can feel completely transformative in virtual reality. Moss is an example of a VR platformer done perfectly. From a third-person perspective, you observe the action as it unfolds before your eyes, and you control Quill the mouse as she embarks upon a journey to save her world. A beautiful action-packed story awaits, and by the end you'll be questioning just how you've become so attached to a small digital mouse. With Moss 2 on the way in 2022, this is a must-play for VR owners, new and old. At this point, Rec Room really needs no introduction. It's one of the most popular VR games out there, and it's free to play, so it should be installed on every single Quest. The endless amounts of user-generated content keep it exciting and fresh week after week. Whether you want a shooter, racing game, adventure, spooky horror, or something based on a popular existing franchise, you can bet someone has made an experience for it in Rec Room. Just recently I tried a Jurassic Park game that absolutely blew me away. If you haven't already jumped in, then now is a great time to change that. I grew up in the era of Guitar Hero and Rock Band Mania, which meant my house was littered with plastic guitars and drum sets. Something about pretending to be a rock star in a video game resonated with so many people, and a new type of rhythm game was born. Now, we don't need those plastic instruments. All we need is a Quest headset and a copy of Smash Drums, the most rewarding and addictive VR rhythm game on the platform. With easy to pick up and play drumming mechanics that are also extremely challenging to master, Smash Drums will have you saying just one more song 7 or 8 times before you finally manage to shut the headset down for an hour or so before loading it back up again. This is the first and only game on this list that you can't buy from the Oculus store. To get this one, you'll need to be set up with SideQuest on your PC or mobile device, but boy oh boy, is it worth it. Doom 3 has been fully converted to VR by Dr. Beef, a dedicated modding team that push old games into full VR for the Quest platform. They've also managed to get Half-Life, Quake, the original Doom games, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein onto the Quest, but Doom 3 is definitely their most impressive project to date. With incredible 3D visuals, a tense horror atmosphere, and some pure magic VR controls, Doom 3 is one of the best games on the platform. And it's not even official. The newest game on this list is also one of VR's finest multiplayer experiences to date, After the Fall, a spiritual successor to the company's previous game, Arizona Sunshine, which throws players into a frozen wasteland to face off against the Snowbreed, a frosty type of zombie menace. The real magic of After the Fall is its replayable gameplay loop and seamless cross-platform support. Players from PSVR, PCVR and Quest can team up like magic and tackle the Harvest Run missions again and again to unlock better loot and more exciting guns. If you're looking for Left 4 Dead in VR, then After the Fall is definitely the game for you. The undisputed king of the single-player VR zombie game here now, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners truly deserves every bit of praise it's received since launch. A taut, terrifying and true survival horror game that gives players all the tools to tackle each scenario in any way they see fit. Stay quiet and lurk in the shadows to avoid detection, or go guns blazing whilst risking being overrun by zombie hordes. The choice is yours. The mechanics feel great, the world is immersive and the combat is glorious. Saints and Sinners is the real deal. You'll notice that as we reach the top end of this list, more and more horror games are starting to sneak in. Well, that's because horror is my favourite genre, and there just so happen to be a lot of great scary games for the Quest, and this next one is no exception. Cosmo Dread is the terrifying space-themed follow-up to the VR classic Dread Halls. Lost and alone aboard a derelict spaceship, your goal is to get all systems back online and then board the escape pod to Earth. Easy, right? Wrong. Alien monstrosities lurk in the hallways and each playthrough is randomly generated, meaning you can never learn the layout or prepare for the attacks. This one is an infinitely replayable masterclass of true terror. If you're looking for a real challenge from your VR games and don't want something that's going to hold your hand, then take a look at Song in the Smoke, a perfectly crafted hardcore survival game built from the ground up for VR. Craft everything from your campfires to your weapons, your clothing to your medicine. Song in the Smoke is the ultimate game for those who like to plan ahead and who aren't afraid to take a risk and possibly lose it all. Players have to fend for themselves in increasingly difficult and hostile environments, scavenging for supplies and crafting better gear and equipment. However, the player isn't the only hunter in this world, and the tables can quickly turn if you attempt to best a foe you're not quite prepared for. Lies Beneath is an absolute hidden gem of a survival horror game. Having left it for well over a year before I eventually got around to playing it, I was stunned to find such a tense, well-paced, Resident Evil-inspired adventure when I finally booted the game up. Lost and alone, you need to tackle horrific beasts in one of the most difficult VR adventures I've ever played. This game certainly doesn't pull its punches, but if you can push through the tough sections, you'll be rewarded with some of the most eye-popping visuals and incredible boss fights that Quest 2 has on offer. Definitely a contender for the best survival horror title on the platform. Demeo is definitely the most unique game on this list, and I truly hope we see more developers taking risks on exciting projects like this one in the future. The premise is simple. Demeo is a tabletop RPG board game that comes to life before your eyes in VR. You team up with a few friends and tackle dungeons complete with different character classes, ability cards and bosses to overthrow. The real joy of Demeo is the way it manages to capture the feeling of camaraderie and friendship. Every time I've played, the experience has been unique, and it honestly feels like sitting around a table with friends or family. It's easy to pick up and difficult to master with near infinite replayability, as every different group will bring different playstyles to the table, and every round is procedural, meaning you can't learn the routes or enemy tactics. At the very top of my best Quest games list sits one of my favourite games of all time, Resident Evil 4. This VR transformation was nothing short of perfect, and it managed to breathe new life into a game I've played countless times over the years. This VR reimagining of the iconic Resident Evil 4 retains everything that made the original so wonderful, but puts players into the shoes of Leon Kennedy as he fights to save the president's daughter from the clutches of an infected horde of villagers and monsters. The VR version is now my favourite way to play this game, and it's the first game I completed on the Quest, my first playthrough clocked in at around 10 hours long, that I immediately started a second playthrough of after rolling the credits. This one really is a must-have for any Quest owner, and hopefully acts as a shining example of the power of converting old games into new VR experiences. BioShock VR next, please. Somebody out there, give it to me. And that brings me to the end of my Quest 2 Best Games list for 2021. I'll be back again at the end of next year to check this out and update the list. Maybe we'll have a Quest 3 by then, who knows? But there's always new VR games coming, and 2022 looks exceptionally exciting. I hope you've all found some games on here that you now think, I'm going to go check that out. Whether you're a new owner of a Quest or an old owner of a Quest, welcome. VR is very exciting right now, and we're happy to have you on board. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a like, leave a comment, and hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another one. Take care of yourselves. See you later.